Alright guys, thanks for joining me. I just want to make this quick video, and it was in my spirit as I was walking up here. It wasn't the video I was planning on making next, but morning. But it was totally in my spirit. I mean, to the point where I was literally speaking the video as I was coming up here, and that's about this incoming comet we've got next. It's called Comet 3I Atlas. All right, so like the same observatory, I think it is, that come up with Tootsie Atlas. Of course, Tootsie Atlas was the one that came through, like the Star of Bethlehem. It came through like last year around the feast time. So just before the Feast of Trumpets on Jesus' birthday, it was seen in the east. A massive comet it was. And the people that seen it, it was literally the biggest tail of a comet I've seen ever in my lifetime anyway. It was huge, and it was seen in the east just before Jesus' 7th birthday, Feast of Trumpets last year. And as it passed past the sun, it survived. It went out, and the big tail again as it was coming up. So it would have been seen on the setting of the sun. In fact, that's when I went to view it. But anyway, so Tootsie Atlas, same sort of observatories, come up with this, seeing this 3I Atlas, it's called. And they're saying this is like an interstellar comet. And if you look at the celestic chart that they show you, with the sun being the center of the system, then it kind of looks a bit more like a straight line. And these interstellar comets, I think, I'm not an expert, so don't shoot the messenger, but it seems that it doesn't return to its original place. I mean, like in the past, here's a great example, Comet Ison, which people were really fearful about. I even had sort of immediate family that don't even speak to me messaging me saying, is this going to hit the earth just? Comet Ison. Well, one of the things that Comet Ison marked was the Antichrist being taken out of the military after 7 years, counterfeiting the number 7. But coming out of they're taken out of the military, preparing him to be king of the world, even the Antichrist as well. They took him out of the military after 7 years, but guess what? Guess when that happened? When Comet Ison came down and was visible to the earth around September, what was it, like 2014 or 13 even? And they took him out of the military anyway. And funny enough, that Christmas, that New Year, all the world leaders went to Africa. They're like the temple of the whatever it was called, for Nelson Mandela's supposed other funeral. And Harry went to Antarctica to look at something in this space through the telescope that they got there, and then came back to South Africa, I remember, because he was doing his Christmas shopping there and stuff like that. And so anyway, the thing about that comet, its origin was Gemini, the clone. Gemini, the clone, the comet comes out of there, and then the clone Antichrist leaves the military and is being trained up to be king. All right, that was back then. Last year even, this Comet Atlas, It came out of Ophiuchus, which is the golden gate of heaven, the center of the universe. It came out, swung back between the earth and between us and the sun, between the earth and the sun, and went back out again, and we'll go back up to Ophiuchus. And you know about all the stuff that happened with me around September and October, the second Satan encounter, my mum hospital, my brothers trying to destroy me, destroy my ministry. And so things definitely happened around that time as well. But this one, all right, this comes out of a certain spot and returns to a different place, right? Well, funnily enough, the place of this in the heavens that this comet comes out of is Sagittarius, which is a symbol of the Antichrist in the seals. And moreover that, it's the symbol of the Antichrist when he's crowned king, which if you miss the inheritance event because you're not listening up or watching the world, if you miss the inheritance, that is the first event that happens. The Antichrist is crowned king and sits on the throne of David in London. Whether that be the one in the House of Lords or the one in the House of the Abbey, Westminster. He will sit on the throne and be king. That is the first event, seal 1. But the Antichrist is depicted as what? A rider on a horse having a bow. That's exactly like Sagittarius. The symbol of the Antichrist is seal 1. And by the way, my timeline, you know, being 40 days before the throne of God would hit the earth on Tevet 14th, January 3rd, well, 40 days earlier would be November 24th. All right, so you have this comet I mean, I'll go through quite a bit now, but I'll try and be as quick as I can. So this comet is coming out of Sagittarius, which is a symbol of the Antichrist. It's coming down. So I'll just run through it. I mean, if you put the Earth as being the center and the sun going around the Earth, this comet will have a bit more of a curve to it. And actually, one of its closest approaches, a close approach to the Earth it had was at the end of June, all right, around the 30th of June, early July, which I believe is when they spotted it and they announced it. So it came past the Earth, so it would have been there, and that now it's going to go around the sun, okay? And the conjunction with the sun, i.e. you've got the Earth, the sun, and then the comet, will be on October 20th. All right, now already a lot of things on my timeline would have happened. All right, let me just run through them very briefly and quickly if I can remember the correct order. You know, trying to remember all these dates when I'm being this dyslexic, which seems to be more of a numbers thing as well with me. I've noticed more recently. But so you've got COP meeting starting, the climate change, which I believe will be the beginning of the 7-year agreement with many nations, all right, to start on COP 30. I mean, the Antichrist himself is going to Brazil, the place where they have the engraved image of Jesus, which has been struck by God and by lightning so many times its fingers have popped off and all sorts, all right. And they even made a duplicate, a counterfeit, a blasphemy of the temple of God. They made their own copy, which they hold their meetings, which they hold their events in, which probably makes them a lot of money. It's nothing like the temple of God will be on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And so he's going to Brazil to COP 30, all right? And like I said, this is the last COP meeting before the passing of the throne. This is the last COP meeting before nuclear World War III, the Trumpets. So I believe the unveiling of a plan for 7 years will be revealed during that COP meeting. So that starts on the 10th. I think it lasts so many days. All right, and then that sign that I talked about Jupiter, which is the king, and Gemini, which is the clone. All right, he starts his loop. Jupiter starts his loop in Gemini on the 11th of November. So you'll have that Jupiter, Gemini, King, clone, window or loop, happening from November, like the 10th, I believe, through all the way to March of 2026, all right? But that window opens for the cloned king to come, in my view, right? And then as we go on in my timeline, you saw that around the 24th of November would be 40 days period from then until Tibet 14th, January 3rd. So that is where I've put seal number 1 at, around November 24th of this year for seal number 1. And then of course the seal's happening. Seal number 2, war outbreak, where all the nations have no restraint and they begin to make war with each other. Market collapse, seal 3. Then the Dome of the Rock being destroyed off the Temple Mount. And then the takedown of North America, seal 4. And then through December, all right, and then late December through to maybe the very first days of January, being in January 3rd or 2nd, but the very late days of December, even when Christmas comes, you see, you're gonna have 10 days from Christmas, the 25th, until Tibet 14th. You're going to have exactly 10 days from Christmas 2025 until Tibet 14th, January 3rd. So that is the time of trouble. But then this comet now, this CI comet, will make its closest approach to Earth on December the 22nd. December the 22nd. So this is when its closest approach to the Earth comes. So from October 20th, 30th, it will start to swing back up and come back towards the Earth, and they're saying the closest approach is December 22nd. Now, Stellarium gives a different story. Stellarium says, I tried to Google this and say, why is this a difference? And it said something like the angular distance is different to this other distance, but Stellarium is actually saying that the closest distance to the Earth that this comet is going to be is something like the 22nd of January. So it's like a month. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, well, who's right? What is right? But so just to recap, you've got October 20th, 30th, it comes past the sun, starts to come out. And they're saying the 22nd December, which will, like I said, be around the time which I believe probably 5 of the seals would have already happened. And then they'll be moving to the 7-year agreement between then, Christmas, and between Tibet 14th. And then obviously Tevet 14th, the 3rd of January, the throne hits the earth, the seal 6, the marking of us saints, the rapture of a great multitude into the heavens, the locking off of the earth, the beginning of the trumpets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now it's like coming to now, what's the meaning of this thing? Well, it could just mean nothing to do with the trumpets or the passing of the throne, because some of them do mention, as a couple of times, where a star, which is like a comet or a star, is an entity, an angel. There is activity around them trumpet judgments. So we'll just run through them actually. I mean, when it says the trumpet 3 goes, it says a blazing star, a comet or an asteroid is seen blazing across the sky. And this marks and/or is responsible for the Black Death coming back to the earth. And by the way, I know this because I did my research, and they said during that time there were comets up in the sky as the Black Death was hitting the earth. Now you have this comet guaranteed to be passing and making its close approach to the earth. So, you know, if the Black Death is going to be released on January 3rd or the days just after, this comet is actually going to make its closest approach, the government's close approach, on 22nd of December, through to Stellarium's close approach to the Earth on January 22nd, if you like. It's going to be within that time. So a blazing star is going to be seen in the sky when Trumpet 3, the Black Death, is released. Trumpet 4, 3 days and 3 nights of darkness. Trumpet 5, the bottomless pit, Yellowstone, is opened, is released. And it says that an angel falls down to the earth, well, falls down towards the earth, and he opens the bottomless pit. So you could well say, is that comet there Abaddon, passing by the earth, its close approach, and spiritually he's able to open Yellowstone volcano. Between December 22nd and January 22nd, but again, this is during the passing of the throne, Tevet 14th, January 3rd onwards. It could well be that as well, but it can't be anything else after that. Do you see what I mean? Because nuclear war, Trumpet 6 is not going to be released until like after June 28th of 2026, and you have that 5 months of Trumpet 5. The locusts come out and sting the people who are not the 144,000 for 5 months. Well, that goes way past January, okay? So that window of December 20th to January 20th of 3I Atlas being close to the Earth has already passed. See what I mean? So does this have a meaning? I mean, it could be a few things. It might just be a symbol of, hey, I've came out of Gemini, which is the symbol of the Antichrist. I'm coming close to the Earth. This is the time where the Antichrist will be coming, which is true, because he'll come in seal 1, November 3rd. And again, within that other sign of Jupiter in Gemini, the king in the Antichrist, also confirmed. So this whole there's like a double confirmation. Maybe it's just a double confirmation of the Antichrist is coming. All right, because I came from Gemini, which is the clone. Could it be a part of one of the judgments on the Earth? Like I said, I don't believe it's Comet Wormwood, to be honest. I believe that may be a separate thing. I believe it'll be a bit like Tootsie Atlas, where it may just come down, right, and just pass between the Earth and the Sun, just like Comet Tootsie Atlas did. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is marking Trumpet 3, and maybe it will blow up. But the thing is, if this Comet 3I actually does blow up, it's more likely to blow up like maybe October 3rd. Its closest approach to the Sun. It's more likely to blow up after October 30th, when it goes past the Sun and then comes up back towards the Earth again. It's more likely to blow up between October 30th and, do you know what I mean? So no. So the other thing it could represent is Abaddon. Abaddon coming down, and like I said, the close approach to the Earth, not being like a sign in the heavens, but more a close approach to the Earth, is him coming close enough to the Earth, like December 20th. Like I said, you've literally got 14 days until the throne hits the Earth. You've got 2 weeks until the throne hits the Earth, until it comes to December 20th, the government's close approach, they say. But through Stellariums, through January, I mean, it could be that's the time. It could, I wouldn't say could be representing Abaddon. It could be Abaddon. All right, it could be Abaddon coming out of the heavens, the angel of death, if you like, the destroyer who destroyed the firstborn of Egypt, who came down at the same time as the passing of the throne, not part of the 7 angels of Nibiru, the throne of God that will be bringing the throne of God, them 7 angels. But there's a separate angel called Abaddon who comes, and he's going to open the bottomless pit, which is Yellowstone. Well, Yellowstone will erupt and open like after the throne hits on January 3rd, sometime shortly after that. All right? And then Nibiru is going to go around the Sun 5 months and then come back again for Trumpet 6, World War 3, which is booked in by the heavens, not me, for June 28th onwards through to August the 3rd, I think it is the window. But going by the 68 equals the date of the world wars happening, I think it's the 15th of July where it would probably all begin. So anyway, just look out for this comet. I mean, it's something else to add. It's one of these interstellar one where they get all airy-fairy about. It doesn't act like they expect comets to act, to come out of a certain point, loop the sun, which it doesn't. All comets and asteroids like this, they always loop the Earth. If you take a different diagram and put the Earth, or take a different diagram of asteroids orbits, and you'll see the Earth is the center point of all their orbits, not the sun. All right, so all these signs are for the Earth, not for the sun. But yeah, it starts from one point, which is Gemini, which is the symbol of the Antichrist, the cloned Antichrist. It comes back, it comes through past the Earth, it comes up from the sun, and then it's going to be the time where the Seal 1 is anyway going to happen around November 24th, if I'm right in my timeline, through 40 days, through December, 7-year agreement, and then they're saying it's going to come close approach December 22nd. From then, even from Christmas until January 3rd, they're going to be making a 7-year agreement. The throne hits the Earth January 3rd, but by Stellarium's thingy distance, it's still close to the Earth at that time. What can it be? Can it be the Black Death comet? I don't think so, but it does say that there's going to be a comet and a star blazing as a torch in the sky. So who knows? Maybe. Could it be Abaddon, the one who's coming down from the heavens for God to open the bottomless pit to release the locust for 5 months? And do you remember? And all this is culminating around this time where I said that the seals and the throne hitting the earth, and the rapture of the great multitude, and the trumpet judgments are going to begin and happen even in January of 2026, and then you get a 5-month prolonging until he returns again, and then Trumpet 6 goes and nuclear war. So I just wanted to share this about this comet because it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, its timings, about close approach to the Earth especially, and it's quite interesting how it came out of Gemini, which is the symbol of the Antichrist, and it's coming close to the Earth in time of the Antichrist coming on the scene to do his thing. So God bless you all. And like I say, when you see that Antichrist being crowned king anyway, it's going to be like 40 days until the throne hits the earth. So pray God, ask him for forgiveness of your sins. If you're not the part of the 144,000, you'll be caught up to the throne. You pray God, ask him to forgive you of your sins in Jesus' precious name and blood, and it is done. Doesn't matter what you've done in your life. The most stupid question I've ever heard is, will God forgive us for these things we've done? God forgives anything. Serial killers, serial rapists, whatever. If you really pray God for forgiveness of your sins, he forgives you, and you shall be saved from what's coming upon the earth. Because what's coming upon the earth, well, it's total destruction through man, through the judgments of God also. And listen, by the time the smoke is cleared in 2029, the population of the world, by the government standards, what they hope to achieve by the government standards, they hope to have approximately 93% of the population we're at now gone. All right, but by the way, you know, the rapture, 2 million people under the age of bar mitzvah are going to be raptured. Who knows if another, it'd be so great if another billion were repented and were raptured up in that great multitude as well. So yeah, I mean, they will get their 0.5 billion population by Easter, by the time of 2029, and by June, when William will rule the world from Israel. But some will be saved, but there's going to be a lot of destruction. There's going to be a lot of death during the time of the judgments upon the earth. And, you know, don't we deserve it as the nations? Don't we deserve it? We've given up. We've given over to Satan and his 6-color rainbow flags and his abominations against God. So, you know, just like Sodom got burned to a crisp and nothing remained, so too is going to happen to us. Trumpet number 1. Burn up by themselves. And, well, this is coming upon the earth. And, hey, it was our own fault as nations. So please pray God, ask him to guide you, because my saints will flee into the mountains or flee into the wilderness before the throne of God hits. All right, there'll be an exodus. I promise you, there'll be an exodus of 144,000 from danger areas. Good example is East Coast of America. There's going to be a great exodus of saints from like the East Coast of America into the Appalachians before the throne hits. There has to be. There has to be. So I've been Pastor Prophet Justin Roberts from End of the Age Bible Prophecy. God bless you all from gloomy, overcast, slightly cool and slightly rainy North Wales. And by the way, this is perfect because I literally just done my transplants. I mean, we're coming up to 2 weeks ago from now, 14 days ago from now, on the 3 days run up to the full moon of Tammuz. I did all my transplants went out because literally there's only 3 months then for the summer harvest until Tishra 14th full moon, which is the Feast of Tabernacles, of course. so 3 months, and it is ideal conditions really for them transplants, because they're getting a water in without. I haven't watered my plants. I usually water them 3 times a week, usually every other day depending. But I haven't had to water them because there's like rain coming down, just soaking the ground, which all it needs. Like, and we had the overcast, so we haven't had like blazing sun, which is not good for them either, especially when they're starting out. I mean, they need to take their energy and make their roots into the ground rather than having like blazing hot heat. So hopefully we'll have this overcast weather for another couple of weeks, and then we can get back to drought conditions and blazing hot sun. So God bless you all. I've been Pastor Prophet Justin Roberts from End of the Age Bible Prophecy. God bless you all in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.